What would you do if someone in your family suddenly had a heart attack? Would you know what to do? According to the American Heart Association, 70% of Americans feel helpless during a cardiac emergency. I am a CPR instructor, and I've been a CPR instructor for 6 years. I took the course a long time ago, and I decided to become a BLS instructor because I didn't want to be put in a situation where I would need CPR and didn't know it. So I'd rather know it than to need it, to have it in case something were to ever happen. I'm going to try and persuade you today on the importance on why you should take a CPR course. The 3 things I'm going to discuss with you is what is CPR, the importance of CPR, and where to get training. What is CPR? CPR stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. A sudden cardiac arrest is when electronic pulses in the heart become chaotic and the heart stops beating. And a heart attack is when the blood to the heart is suddenly cut off. CPR would help with both of those situations. And CPR is giving compressions right across the nipple line where the sternum is, hard and fast. The second main point on why it's important that you should take a CPR class or know CPR is the faster you help a person who had just had a heart attack or sudden cardiac arrest, the better their chances are to live. Someone can survive 4 to 6 minutes after a sudden cardiac emergency or a heart attack until the oxygen is lost and brain damage starts to occur. That extra time, those 4 to 6 minutes, could be the difference between saving someone's life. I read an article on the Institute of Health and Safety, and there was a man named Patrick Spink who was from Dacula, Georgia. And he was out running with his son, and there just happened to be a nurse, a respiratory technician, and a CPR instructor who were just in the vicinity of the area. And the son told the story, but the father ended up having a heart attack and fell down, and his son didn't know how to do CPR. His son was 13. He called for help, and the nurse heard him call for help, so she rushed over there. So did the respiratory technician, and so did the CPR instructor. So between the 3 of them, they were rotating, doing CPR until the ambulance arrived. Well, this man was able to tell his story because these 3 people who just happened to be in the vicinity knew CPR and knew what to do and saved his life. So he made sure that his son helped him find all 3 of those people so he could thank them in person. And it was a very emotional story. This man will be forever grateful to these people because they reacted, and all the training that they had, they were able to use it and save a life. And my next and last point will be where you can get training. You can get training by contacting your local American Heart Association. You may have to pay a small fee, but it'll be worth it to have the training in case you ever need to use it. You can also go to www.heart.org where you can find several places that do offer CPR courses. And the last one, if you don't want to pay to have a course, the www.heart.org has a video. It's called Hands Only CPR. And this video, if you don't want to get the training, if you do just this step, as I'm going to show you right now, it could save a life and help somebody live.
If you see a teen or adult suddenly collapse, it's important to act fast. Helping to save a life is easier than you might think. Just start hands-only CPR. The first step is to send someone to call 911 or call 911 yourself.
I will stay on the phone with you until help
Then get directly over the victim. Put the heel of one hand in the center of the chest. Then put your other hand on top of the first.
I need you to do it this fast. 1, 2, 3.
Then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
It's important to push at a rate of at least 100 beats per minute.
20, 21.
Let's hope you never have to use hands-only CPR. But if you see a teen or adult suddenly collapse, don't be afraid to try it. Remember, call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. Your actions can help save a life.
And that concludes my speech. I have given you a scenario that hopefully makes you think of possibly taking a CPR course or even watching the video that I just showed you. I told you what CPR was, and I explained to you some of the instances where you may have to use CPR. I described to you the importance of CPR and why you should take a CPR class, and the importance of knowing how to do CPR, because you never know when you might have to use it on somebody and help save a life. And lastly, I discussed with you where to get the training. In conclusion, don't let fear be the reason why you don't save a life. So get out there and take a CPR class.